Last time on The Dock of Shame. By the way, this podcast is going to be really confusing because two of us are named Matt, and one person's named Chris, and the host of the show is also named Chris.
I'm going to constantly bring up how Owen is a bisexual legend.
Welcome, campers, to the Dock of Shame podcast, a total drama retrospective. My name is Matt, and joining me are...
I'm Chris, and if you don't watch the Cheez-It Bowl every single year, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
I am Walsh. Walsh is me. Thank you.
And I am your local resident of Zootopia, Gabe.
All right.
Stop!
So welcome back to the podcast. Last time we went over Not So Happy Campers Part 1. This time we're going to go over Part 2. Before we begin...
I thought we would just skip Part 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
that's probably for the best.
Damn. Damn, I went ahead.
But before we begin, I forgot to do this in the last episode. This podcast in particular is really inspired for me by good friends of mine, the Super Nuclear Group. I met them doing their theme song, and then kind of just getting to talk to them more, realizing that this was really something that we can do. And this show, in a lot of ways, is kind of based off of what they did. They have covered Code Lyoko and are currently covering Oban Star Racers, which are a couple other mid-2000s animated shows, not from the United States. So go check them out. Return to the Past is their Code Lyoko one, and then Oban Star Racers is The Ultimate Reprise is what that one is. So go check them out. You'll hear my music in them, which is kind of cool. But they're also like three really awesome people that you should definitely go check out their work.
And generally, I would like to thank them because Team KS Productions and getting all of our podcasts set up from Virtual Ball Boys, the Table Party, and all that would not be possible if it weren't for their help. Even though I've never directly talked to them, they were able to assist us in getting things set up. So I greatly appreciate what they've done.
Yes, much appreciated. So if y'all are listening, love you. Okay. Anyways, Total Drama Island.
Yeah, could you imagine talking about a retrospective of any other show? How preposterous. Like a show like Code Lyoko. Oh.
Is that the show with the foreheads?
Yes, it appears so. A true culture.
Wow.
Individuals such as ourselves.
We're distinguished. We how dare anyone else try to attempt
Who needs
this?
French animation? We're all about Canadian animation.
That
Damn
is
right.
why this entire...
Well, it's basically the same thing.
This is why this entire episode we shall be reading from the manuscript of Total Dramarama.
Oh,
Now,
No.
everyone
No.
cast
No.
themselves.
No.
Save it to the end. Save it to the end, please.
I am actually like the fact that you called it a manuscript deeply disturbs me.
Oh, I'm sorry. We will be reading from the Bible known as Total Dramarama.
It's more like a few pieces of paper with like coffee stains on it.
It's loose leaf.
Loose leaf. Right.
All right, we're gonna talk about Not So Great Outdoors Part 2. We return to our heroes, our contestants, on the top of a cliff. Oh, it's a cliffhanger.
Oh,
wait, that's what they did last episode.
God damn. Do you think they did that on purpose?
I think so.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow.
So Chris explains to them what their challenge is this time around. They need to all jump from this 1,000-foot tall cliff into the water below, and there are sharks. But there's a rain where there are supposedly no sharks, even though that's not how like sharks work. You just go under it.
I mean, like that's you would think so anyway.
No, well, I'm pretty sure it's designed like there's netting underneath. You know,
But
that
does
the
it ever
sharks
show
can't
it?
get through.
I don't remember seeing the netting.
Yeah.
I don't think they show
And it's
that.
netting. Sharks can get through that.
I also think that they probably did not put netting down, and they probably just said that to the campers to make them feel better. But in reality, all of them were doomed from the moment they hit the water.
Or is this
Precisely.
all part of Chris McClane's scheme to torture teenagers? In fact, that these sharks are completely harmless, but to fill them with anxiety and fear creates this entire diabolical challenge.
Do you think that he takes pleasure from pain?
Oh, entirely,
Yes.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he also mentioned that like they had to test this, but all the interns were in the hospital, so Chef had to do it.
Yeah. Which I'm sure those racking hospital bills were also very arousing.
I'd also like to talk
Oh,
about
God.
the canon of, like, they actually recorded this on the island, and Chris purposely put it in the episode of Chef jumping in the water.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think? Wait,
Like doing the flashback.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be part of the in fiction show?
I was gonna say, like, is Chris actually like editing all these episodes?
I assume everything is, like, in fiction, like, in the in fiction show,
Huh.
Okay.
but which does become a little weird later on.
Yes.
He really likes like painting himself in a bad light. Then.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
It's for publicity.
Okay, so continuing on the challenge, they have to jump, and if they jump, they get a crate of supplies for the second part of the challenge, which is to build a hot tub. So we got a 2-part challenge here. Killer Bass end up going first. Oh, and whoever builds the best hot tub is the ones who win the challenge.
I gotta say, I interpreted it as this was like the reward challenge, like the rare reward challenge in Survivor, where the reward was that you got to wheel crates instead of having to carry them, and then it was like the immunity challenge was to build the hot tub. So I very much was in the Survivor mindset when watching that.
I think you're right. Yeah. So like there's that, but they also get the crates.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So the Killer Bass go first. They're all trying to figure out who should be the one, and I forget who it is. I think it's Duncan. Is like ladies first.
Yeah.
And who was the first to jump? Oh, Bridget.
It was Bridget,
Okay.
and of course because she's good at water stuff, she does it perfectly.
That's her personality.
I thought you were going to
And
say
then,
something else, Matt. I
what?
seriously thought you were going to say something else.
Me too, and that's why I stopped myself.
Never mind.
Wow.
Okay, so Tyler goes next. He jumps off and slams into the buoy. The metal buoy.
Okay, because he always crashes into things. Ah!
Yep.
Oh.
That's his trope. Pulling out well. Jeff, Eva, and Duncan go off next, and they all do it no problem. I think it's like one just continuous shot of them like all jumping in.
Right.
And then we find out what happens if someone refuses to jump.
You gotta wear a chicken hat.
You gotta wear a chicken hat, and DJ decides that this isn't his thing. So he puts on the chicken hat and then takes the escalator that for some reason is there.
Yeah, I was about to say there's an escalator on the like. Did they install that like right before? Like, is it functioning, or does he have to? Is it like one of those things where the escalator is broken and they have to just take it as stairs?
I mean, that would
It's
still
pure
be
torture.
better than trying to walk down the mountainside.
Which is ridiculously steep.
Yeah. So that's good at least.
Yes.
Zeke jumps next, and he hits the cliffside and just kind of like tumbles into the water, but still jumps. Still good. And then Harold.
Ah, Harold.
and he crashes into the water, and he was doing the splits for some reason, and like, you know when you belly flop in the pool and then your entire torso hits it and it stains, he did that but with his nuts.
Damn, he's got flat nuts.
We also need to have an honest discussion, because the way that they've drawn this cliff, it makes it seem like it's very, 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 very high up. How are none of these people dying? We need to really examine this, because basically, at that height, at that rate of speed, water becomes concrete, and you fucking die if you do that. So, not a lot of logistical sense here. Is me.
You know what else is there? A metal buoy that Tyler hit.
That and
still lived.
Also still lived. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to actual science. I think it just depends on your form and how you hit the water, because the more spread out you are, the more it's gonna hurt. So,
but Harold will split it. His fucking balls.
Yeah, precisely.
Almost fell off.
It's just, I think it depends on your form, and how you dive.
Yeah.
I have here I googled it. Where this website states that jumping from 150 feet, or about 46 meters, or higher on land, and 250 feet, or about 76 meters or more on water, is 250 feet, is 95% to 98% fatal.
Ah.
So they're from 1,000 feet.
Yes, so I'm multiplying 95% to 98% times 4. Because that's how the math would work.
Okay, wait, but we have to realize something. This is a cartoon.
Well, yes, true. Yes, and the whole thing about the cartoon element is the fact that they're basically, the worst things can happen. Like, the character could be shredded into pieces and then just be back to normal 5 seconds later after a swipe. It's so yes, I understand. It's a cartoon. I'm just saying, logistically, they want to be a realistic reality show. This is not it.
Nope.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, everybody knows water's really soft.
Yeah.
Right.
You just get you're absorbed.
No matter how high you are.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, Courtney decides that she is allergic to jumping. Or something.
Specifically
exactly
jumping
what
off
she says.
cliffs.
Allergic to jumping off cliffs. And also takes the chicken hat. Takes down the escalator. And basically her logic is, I don't think 9 of those, that other team will jump.
Yeah. She takes a calculated risk, and she loses.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the second math error in the premiere episodes happens, where Chris mentions that 8 people have jumped, where Bridget, Tyler, Jeff, Eva, Duncan, Zeke, and Harold have jumped. That is only 7.
Man.
Oh, this is where did we mention? Did we mention that Izzy and Izzy switches with the other team?
Nope, because that happens right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to figure out who's supposed to jump between Katie or trying to get Sadie to jump. They Izzy and Sadie technically both need to jump, but that wasn't figured into the math for some reason. So Izzy offers to switch. Katie goes on the killer bass now. Izzy's now a screaming gopher. And then Katie and Sadie, do they jump off together?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they just jump off together, and the killer bass have 9 jumpers and 2 chickens.
I mean, I just this is where we talked about this last episode. This is where I think they completely failed at a character growing opportunity to not have Katie and Sadie together. That they could have been separate, and maybe we could have learned a little bit more about them.
However,
Okay, but follow up to that. What would have been worse? Them moaning and complaining about not being together all season? Or them being buddy-buddy all season?
Well, if they stayed apart, I think the writers would ultimately... I don't know. I think that they would want to... they'd want to go down the path of developing them, actually developing them instead of being lazy and just being like, oh yeah, they're always similar, they're always together, they're always the same.
Spoiler alert: this ends up happening. Like they end up getting separated, but like
when one gets voted off.
Yeah, but like
they don't
they're
do
still
anything
in
with
development.
Yeah, they really don't.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm just saying that they could have been smarter about it. That's all.
Yeah.
Now, I'd also like to point out, in the background, this is Izzy playing 5D chess.
Okay.
Because Izzy immediately volunteers and goes to the winning team's side.
She doesn't know it's the winning team yet.
Oh, she knows.
Sees it. She
She
sees
sees
it.
it
She knows.
She
already.
can see the future.
Izzy's smart.
Okay.
Izzy is the smartest character on this fucking show. You could quote me on that.
All right, we'll revisit that. So after that, Chris promises that now that it's the Gophers' turn, if the Gophers are able to beat the Basses' score, they will get a pull cart to transfer their crates back to camp to build their hot tub. And then Heather and Lindsay immediately start saying, "No, I'm not going to do that. I just did my hair. I'm not going to get it wet on national TV."
But Heather already got her hair wet on national TV in the last episode.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize that.
Think about
She
that.
got her hair wet twice. Because not only does she fall into the water during the introductions, but then she falls when the whole group falls when the dock breaks. So
Yeah.
what the fuck, Heather?
Like, she's just an asshole. Like, well, we gathered that already, but like, especially so.
So then Lashana gets in their face to try to get them to do things, and there's a lot of insults being thrown back and forth at each other. Before Lashana just picks Heather up and throws her over the cliff.
Heather's like, at least I'm popular. And it's like, to who? You're on an island
Right,
with like
like-
30
Right.
people.
You have like one friend. Like, get over yourself.
Okay,
Like,
guys.
that
And then
scene
Heather's
just
like,
furthers
"Make
my
me,"
love
and
for
Lashana
Lashana.
picks her up, throws her over.
Guys, does Lashana yeet Heather or does she Kobe her?
She Kobe's.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say yeet because it's not like she's not
The thing
throwing
is,
her up.
Yeet is for distance, and Kobe is for accuracy.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, I did know that there was a difference. All right,
Yep.
we'll go Kobe then.
And it would
But
be
I also think that like Yeet needs more physical energy, which like even though Lashana is like much bigger than Heather is, like the still the weight of throwing a person needs more of a Yeet than a Kobe, I think.
Right.
I don't know. I'm on Gabe's side. Gabe, I think it's a Kobe.
Okay.
I don't know. She throws her.
Counterpoint.
She gets
Right.
her into the target zone. So like,
Counterpoint. She wasn't trying to. Would not have cared if she hit the sharks.
but she still did it.
She did.
True.
Yeah, she did. I think that maybe she was because she was trying to get that W.
Okay.
Oh, that's weird. Like there's people that did not get into this that did not get into the circle, and I think it still counted because they just jumped.
As long as they
jump,
jumped.
yeah. And there's only one person who didn't get in the circle, and that was Justin.
Ah, yes, we'll get to
Right.
that.
Yep. So after that, Lindsay, Gwen, Cody, and Izzy jump. Then Justin jumps and doesn't land in the circle. However, he is so hot that the sharks don't want to eat him and just carry him to shore.
Homosexual sharks.
Now, forgive me if I missed something in the first episode, but I think this is the second. This is the first time in the series thus far that we've seen the animal interaction to this point, where the animals really become a character of its own. Like and I think we've talked about this before in the past, like as a group. But it kind of starts the introduction as like the island being almost its own character, where you have all these animals kind of having to interact with, and the nature as a whole interacting with the individuals. Like the cockroach from last episode. There's another example like that you kind of have that it is very much they embody like the human versus nature aspect of it, but it's so there's such a much more personality in this because it's a cartoon and the animals have a lot more personality to them. And I enjoy that aspect. I think that there was like I think that when Harold like hit his with splits, I think like the sharks like gave like a ooh like
that
thing.
too.
Like that was like you get a lot of that throughout the show, and it's kind of really starts here.
Yeah, Chris, I think you're right. I want to actually I actually forgot to kind of mention it during the last episode, but like I think it kind of happens where like animals are personified twice, where you were talking about the cockroach. Before the cockroach even gets split in half by Duncan's axe, the cockroach just goes, "Help me." And
oh yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I forgot
That's
that.
right.
And then when Chris is like introducing the show and breaking down everything the campers are going to have to go through, he mentions like the food, and then it cuts to a bowl full of maggots, and one of the maggots has like a whole face, and I think I remember a mustache, but I could be wrong, and the maggot's
Yeah, it had a
like,
mustache.
"Hey now."
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like-
the disgusting camp food. Hey now.
Hey now. Yeah, no, the animals, they all have like, the island has its own personality, and the animals are like very intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that because I think that adds to the cartoony aspect of it all, and that adds a little bit more personality to the entire show.
Yep. Okay, after Justin jumps, Beth chickens out on the gopher side. She decides that she can't do it, and then takes chicken hat, rides her way down. And then Trent is able to jump with no problem, which just leaves Owen, who needs to jump for them to win. I think Chris mentions, like, no pressure, but there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, this is what they were teasing in the end of the first episode. I mean, it's gonna be, like, this whole moment's very, like, interesting, and you kind of know, like, he's not actually going to die, like, they wouldn't do that, but there is a moment where you're just kind of like, huh, how are they gonna play this out? Like, how much of a fat trope are they gonna put into this?
I don't know. I think, like, well, the fact that, like, we even see Owen jump off the cliff in, like, the title sequence, like, we know he's going to jump, it's just, like, seeing what happens after, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
That's true, and, like, so then you kind of, and because the whole water, the fact that they don't necessarily need to hit the target in the center, you kind of know after the last person jumps, or at the last, like Trent, I think it was, Trent was the last one. You kind of know that the Screaming Gophers kind of win that part of the challenge because you know that Owen jumps from the previews, so it's like so they kind of gave a little bit of a spoiler in the preview in that sense.
I think that's okay, because it is like a 2-part challenge. It's not just the jumping off the cliff.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So, this is another point where you can tell if you're watching a censored version or not. In the original, Owen says, "I'm going to die now. I'm going to frickin' die now." But if it's censored, he says, "totally die."
Yeah, I had the censored version.
Yeah.
Yep. The Netflix one is mostly censored, which is unfortunate.
Which is weird, because, like, they're not censored in any... And also, it's not even, like, they're not even that bad. Like, freaking and sleaze or whatever, like, whatever the hell it was. Like, it's
like,
not
2008
bad.
Cartoon Network was really weird, because they also censored, like, sucks. They took out sucks.
Yeah.
They changed it to stinks.
Then I was surprised
Like,
the throwing up episode later on gets through.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, that's the real bad to the censories.
Do they censor the boobs?
I think they
Yes.
always censor the boobs.
No,
They
that's
always
not what I
do.
meant. I meant like the word. I meant the word boobs.
Oh,
I don't know.
yes! They do.
Do they?
The Cartoon Network does censor boobies, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that once that episode comes around.
What the
God.
fuck, Cartoon Network? How dare you censor your boobies?
Yes.
Amazing.
Free the boobies!
So Owen jumps and he makes it. There's a big splash, like a shark ends up in a tree, but Gophers win.
The first part, at least.
Yeah.
The first part, at least. they are able to take things back. There's clips kind of switching between the Gophers and the Bass. The Gophers are very happy-go-lucky, singing like 49 bottles of pop on the wall, and so on and so forth.
They can't even say beer?
Nope.
No, they say bottles of pop.
Yeah.
I don't think that one was censored. I think that was original.
Guys, that's another moment where Justin speaks.
Technically correct.
Yeah.
But I'm not really gonna count it.
What do you mean you're not going to count it?
I mean, I'm not gonna count it because it's not like he's singing along with everyone else, but that's
okay,
not
so
like
singing isn't talking?
He's, we see the mouth moving. It's amongst a group. I am sure that there are like 9 audio files, or 10 audio files, or whatever. How many people were on the teams, and I'm sure you could cancel out most of them except for Justin's, and you hear him singing. So I say count it.
I don't want to, but okay.
Why?
Because he doesn't like really get a line. He's just like singing in a group.
But what is he doing?
And now, Matt...
Unless he's mouthing the words.
I was about to
say
say,
Yeah,
Matt,
true.
are you about to try to theorize that Justin is lip-syncing along?
Absolutely.
He's pretty. Oh, he can deal with just lip syncing.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Take that.
Technically, all the characters are lip-synced.
Shut up.
God, freaking. Oh,
Can
I'm
we also
sorry.
talk about
Totally.
Can we also talk about how Owen lost his trunks?
No.
Yes, that's a theme
Okay,
for him.
alright, we won't.
I mean, well, all right. Well, he does go naked a few times. That's for sure.
Yep. Okay. So Tyler decides as they're carrying stuff that he needs to go pee. Katie and Sadie follow him,
Because
and then when Katie and Sadie get back, they discover that they're a little itchy.
Yes. Bridget
Because
is the kind one that points it out to them.
that they peed on poison ivy.
They have
I don't-
poison ivy all over their...
I don't...
Jesus.
Okay,
Gabe.
but, like,
Gabe.
you have to, like, physically touch it. It's not
Right.
just like, oh, my pee touched it, therefore...
Yeah,
No, they squatted over it.
like their butts probably touched it.
Yeah.
I don't think
please
they. I don't think they were. I don't think that they're
I'm
rubbing.
gonna censor that. Yes.
I don't think they're just rubbing their groinal areas on the.
No, but like you squat down and you touch it, and it's gonna burn.
They're not like dogs where they're like freaking just. Although they kind of were dogs when they got itchy and they were rubbing their
On the beach.
butts on
They
the
realized it
bed.
was poison ivy.
Yeah, so
That
I guess,
animation, by the way, it's like they scooch forward and then like similar with the meat, they just kind of like reverse it. Like
So, like,
it does not look natural.
They're moon
But they go
scooching.
forward and then they come back.
They're moon scooching, just going backwards. Billy Genius.
Did you say genus?
Would putting
Billie
your
Jean is
butt
not my
in,
lover.
like, the ocean water even help?
No, it would get saltier.
I don't even know. I
I don't know.
This is an interesting thing to unpack, though.
Gophers get back to camp. Apparently Chris made them open all the crates with their teeth.
Yes.
Just
another example
real
of Chris's diabolical schemes.
Yeah.
Precisely. Izzy gets rope burn on her tongue.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Oh, and we should mention too that Courtney was bitten by a fly. Apparently.
Yes. Yep.
With, like, on
And
her
then her
eye.
eye was.
I mean, didn't she
I
just
got
kind of
swollen.
hammer it down onto her eye?
Yeah, she really just fucking slaps her face, huh?
Maybe that's what kind of caused her to have the pink eye, is that she slapped
Yeah.
herself in the eye.
But they really go above and beyond sometimes. Like, they cut to Courtney, and it's just, like, pulsating.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the chicken hat.
Yeah. But it's really funny because Chris like
Great.
Chris comes over, sees like Courtney's eye, and like Sadie and Katie like on their butts scratching themselves, and he's like, "Damn, I didn't even plan that shit, but great."
Like, this is amazing. Now they're just hurting themselves.
It works out for him in the long run.
Yeah.
Heather and Lindsay get some time to talk. Heather mentions, like, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah, that was after she apologized to Lashana, although it was completely a fake out. Like, she was totally being fake. I was like, oh, I love your earrings. And then, like, she'd go, like, walk away and be like, those are the ugliest earrings I've ever seen. Because that's Heather.
Well, and you know that's why like she's using Lindsay as like to be her friend, because to her she's the pretty girl and her like biggest popularity like competition.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Lost my place. Here we go. Okay, so there's a fun back and forth of how the Gophers are building and how the Bass are building. Jeff tries to give like a super like inspired speech on top of all the crates to like Courtney, Zeke, and I forget who else is there.
Harold.
Oh, Harold.
Harold.
Yeah, Harold's like drooling. Zeke is like picking his nose. You know.
Yeah, and Courtney looks pathetic with her eye and the chicken hat. And it's just really funny because it's like, hey guys, we can do this, and then it's a cut to like the three saddest looking people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Courtney finally takes charge, gets things in order in terms of telling people what to do. And there's a montage of all the Gophers working together, like, hey, here's a hammer, and then all the Bass like fighting over the hammers. And then hitting Harold in the nuts again.
And the
then
face.
Harold, and then Bridget picking up the board and smacking Harold.
Poor
Harold.
Yeah.
Alas.
He needs to step away then. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Come on, Harold.
Yeah.
It gets to the point where Chris does the inspection of the hot tubs, calls the Gophers one awesome, and then gets near the Bass. There's the fucking seagull with the plastic pop rings around its neck just floating in it. And then it just falls apart.
Real quick, because I forgot to bring it up, during this montage, I think that Lashana asks the killer Bass if there were a couple of white girls with you guys, and she was referring to Katie and Cindy, but the thing is, Katie's black.
Katie is not white.
So
In fact.
you know, that was a weird line. But yes,
I think
don't
she was
even-
just referring to their mannerisms.
potentially.
Yeah.
And isn't like
I forgot to write that down, but I thought about that too.
Yeah.
yeah.
What, Matt?
No, nothing.
Okay. So the hot tub inspection happens. Chris like pauses, even though it's extremely obvious who won. Like before he reveals that of course the Screaming Gophers won because their hot tub was actually a hot tub.
Yes.
And the reward was they get to keep the hot tub the entire summer just to chillin', and they get to have a hot tub party tonight.
Yeah, and they're dancing, and Owen. Here's the thing, he comes out and celebrating naked, but like the thing is that like he was clothed before. Like I think that they were calling back to the fact that he lost his trunks earlier, but like
He did pop out of the hot tub, like
naked.
when Chris was like, "You guys win."
Yeah, he was naked.
So he was in the hot tub.
Well, he can't go in the hot tub with his clothes on, so he'd put on his trunks, but he lost them.
He lost them
Oh
again.
my God.
Yeah.
Or maybe that they're just saying like he has permanently lost his trunks. So like, so maybe that's what happened is that like he got dressed after jumping into the water. He was clothed throughout the... And I feel like we're going to be doing a lot of this because Owen's naked throughout a lot of the show. He's clothed basically from where they carry the crates to when they make the hot tub. But then once the hot tub is finished, he's naked again in the hot tub. I think because the trunks are not with him. And then he's dancing naked next to Heather and Lindsay.
Yeah, why the hell would Cartoon Network censor his penis?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it could be really creative.
Maybe it's like an American Canadian censorship thing. I don't know.
Potentially, I don't know. I feel like that's something that like they need. I think that there needs to be some growth there, you know, from the executives. They
Please
got
don't
lots
say
of
growth.
penises.
Please don't say growth.
Although, to be fair though, let's remember these are 16-year-olds, so let's...
let's
Well,
not
that's
get too far into this. So
I guess we'll just have to wait for the Blu-ray releases.
Goddamn.
No.
They cut you dinner. The Killer Bass are trying to figure out who they're going to vote out. Courtney is taking it like really seriously, like not trying to hide the fact that it's like, oh, we need to decide who we're voting out rather than like trying to be secret and like protect people's feelings.
Yes.
Like I think in her mind it's like, oh, we're gonna decide that this person's being voted out. So bye. Like it's she's just very like in the open about it.
Yeah.
And they're talking. Duncan suggests getting Courtney out because Courtney chickened out. Courtney and DJ chickened out, and he would rather have DJ's strength over Courtney's CIT
What does that even mean?
experience.
Yeah, what is
CIT is counselor in training.
Oh.
Oh.
So she was a camp counselor in training. Not even a real counselor, just one in training.
I remember they also point to Tyler as him as a possible person to kick off, and then just like across the whole room, Lindsay's like, "No,
Right.
salt. There's no salt."
Yeah, and this is where we see it seems like Courtney is the primary target, but then all of a sudden Ezekiel brings the attention to himself.
Yeah, I don't know why we lost, eh?
Yeah.
Because
They're the
girls
ones who
are
got more
worse than
girls on their team.
Whatever he said.
Yeah, it was very much he made a sexist comment, and he basically set himself up to be on the chopping block at that point.
And then he kept like doubling down, which is the funniest part.
he was like,
yeah,
go ahead.
Guys are much better and stronger at sports than girls are.
At least he didn't say they're smarter, but they are.
Well, they are, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So he put himself on the chopping block just right then and there. He could have kept his mouth
Eva
shut.
has him in like a chokehold.
Yeah, he didn't do anything like terrible during the challenge. Like he kind of was just there. He existed. He could have been safe, and then he did that.
Yeah, he could have just slid under the radar. All right, guys. If Ezekiel didn't say anything, how do you think this episode would have gone?
Well, let's recap. Let's go through the camp sequence though.
Sure.
What is it called? The elimination again? I forget.
Is it just the campfire ceremony?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the campfire ceremony, we get our kind of introduction to how it works. Chris explains that marshmallows represent life. If you receive a marshmallow, you are safe. Yeah. And this is a convention that kind of goes throughout the entirety of Total Drama. Like you get the thing, and then you're safe.
It's kind of like the torch in Survivor.
Yeah. So Chris like explains the rules. All of them have already voted, and he starts handing out the marshmallows. First to Jeff, then Tyler, then Katie, then Bridget. There's a lot of pauses between these. DJ, Harold, Sadie, and Duncan. And then there's only one marshmallow left on his plate. But you know who he didn't fucking say?
He didn't say Eva.
He didn't say Eva. It's 3 in the first 2 episodes where this show doesn't count right.
And
I didn't even notice that because I completely just forgot about Eva.
Yeah, me too.
And-
Yeah.
and also
Wait, what about Katie?
They did say Katie.
They said Katie.
Oh, okay.
He said Katie.
And this is spoiler alert. But then we never see Eva get her marshmallow.
That's true.
We never
Yeah.
see it. She never,
never
receives
does.
it.
So Courtney and Zeke are the last two. Both of them are really nervous. Zeke is like shaking. There's this really long, really drawn out dramatic music where Chris is like holding up his finger, like pointing at them.
Yeah, this is the most dramatic elimination before merge, because they do get more dramatic as the season goes on, but this is probably the most dramatic, even maybe throughout the entire show.
It's I think this one is like purposely this dramatic just to be that parody.
Yes, of course.
But it ends up Courtney gets the marshmallow, and Zeke heads to the dock of shame.
Why does that sound so familiar?
Bye.
Didn't really say anything, just kind of walks away. And then we get like a quick view of the hot tub party that the Gophers get. And then Courtney looks at the camera and is basically like, they may be celebrating now, but I'm going to be the one who wins this.
And that's how it ends.
Yep.
Returning to your question, Matt, that is interesting, because, like, first of all, do you feel like they made the right choice eliminating Ezekiel? Because I sit here saying, I, as a viewer, would hate Ezekiel and would love to see him go. But as a player in the game, would Ezekiel pose more of a threat than Courtney? Through the first episode.
With like Survivor stuff in play, like we still want to be like you still want to keep the people who are going to help you win challenges, and the idea is Zeke or Courtney going to help you win challenges?
I mean, Courtney gave up.
She gave up, but she was also the one who took charge during the hot tub building.
And look how that turned out.
And the hot tub turned out terribly, but she at least like did something. They weren't doing anything before then.
Yeah. I would say that they probably made the right choice, but I also could see where like Ezekiel basically did not do anything wrong necessarily in the not in of course in his commentary. Where I could see where they feel like Courtney could have been a nuisance to them moving forward. So there is an interesting debate there.
Every season just has that one player that they're just easy pickings.
Yeah.
For the first one getting voted off.
But who would? I mean, I guess it would be Courtney then if Ezekiel didn't open his mouth, right?
Yeah.
I think so, honestly.
What do you guys think? The rest of you?
I think so. It's been interesting. Either her or I would even see like DJ, you know?
Yeah, that's true. DJ. Tyler was pointed out too.
I don't think many others would have had the chance.
Right. I think they would have looked at the two chickens and they would say DJ Courtney, who would we rather get rid of? And I think at that point it probably would have been Courtney.
Especially because she was the more annoying of the two as well.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So yeah.
I was a CIT.
Yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, no one cares."
Yep.
Essentially, at that point.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
Now, I posit for a moment, if the other team would have won, who do you think would have gotten voted off?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The thing is that they really highlighted the aspect of the Screaming Gophers working together and like everything was pretty much perfect. But at the same time, Beth was maybe the sole person that was chickened out. I could see where maybe they could have found like Beth being disposable at that point.
Yeah.
Or
also Katie or Sadie could have gotten the axe.
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
After the poison ivy stuff on the other tribe.
Yes, yes, I could see that. I don't know. I think Beth and maybe I don't know if they feel like for chemistry purposes if they would need like to separate Heather and Lashana in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, vote out one of them.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can think of.
Good question. We should while they're still in teams, we should ask that, like who the other tribe would have voted out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all got some numbers?
I would say that I would bump this up to like a 7 in this one.
Okay.
I still think it was relatively average. I didn't laugh a ton with this. I didn't like it, and it was entertaining. I think for the most part. It definitely. I think it starts to grip you, the whole concept of it. I still think it's on the lower end of the better total drama episodes. But even like I said, if I was a new viewer, I would say like it was better this time. It was about a 7.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you. Actually, I like. Excuse me. Same reasons. Like, better than part 1. But still lower than I think the top tier episodes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I actually really agree with you guys. I was gonna bump it up from a 6.5 to a 7. Just for
Okay. Gabe?
7.8 out of 10. Too much water.
All
Please
right.
tell me that you were planning that from the start.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I don't know the reference, actually.
So, back when Pokemon Alpha Sapphire came out, IGN's rating was a 7.8 out of 10, and one of the reasons it gave was because there was too much water, hinting to the water routes in the game.
Because it's a tropical region.
Yeah. So everyone just made fun of it because too much water is a dumb reason to give a game a score.
And there was a lot of water because of Mr. Owen, unfortunately. Too much. He flooded everything.
Also,
Sure did.
Owen nakedly hugs 2 or 3 other cast members.
It was Heather and someone
Bridget?
else.
Lindsay, yeah.
I don't even remember.
That's a problem.
That's kind of like the, we just saw a season of inappropriate touching on Survivor, so it's kind of
Right.
like this is this was pre Me Too movement, the Total Drama Island, and maybe in today's day and age, Owen would be off the show. So
Yeah.
that's
I don't
what happens.
I don't think that was meant as anything malicious. I think
No.
it's just a joke.
Of course.
All right, now everybody, place your predictions. Who do you think is gonna win Total Drama Island?
Okay, well,
I think
this is problematic because
I think it's going to be Tyler.
because we already know who wins. But
If I say who actually wins, will you censor it?
Maybe.
'Cause,
Okay, I won't say it
guys,
then.
I'm thinking it's even.
It's Eva? Okay.
y-
So we
yeah.
got Eva, Tyler, Chris, who do you think?
I think the person that has the strongest chance of winning is Ezekiel because he no longer has to go through this torture.
Perfect. Gabe?
Gwen.
Alright. Very nice. Alright, let's hit our daily Rama.
That delicious Rama.
Is that whatever you want to call it?
Ramen noodles.
Rama noodles.
We'll see. All right, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
All right. Total Drama Rama, Season 1, Episode 5. Written by Jennifer Perch. Titled The Date. Chef is in a devastated mood after a breakup with his girlfriend and will not serve the kids pizza until he is happy again. The kids create a secret admirer, which brings Chef into a happy mood, and he starts serving pizza to them again. Unfortunately, the plan is unintentionally ruined by Izzy, who sets up a date with the secret admirer, causing Owen and Jude to go disguised as the admirer. Ooh.
Oh my god.
Why is Jude on this fucking show?
Yeah, Jude from yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
from 16.
from 16.
Why?
Because they had to put Chris McClane's voice actor in,
That
and they couldn't make Chris a
fucking
kid
put
along
Chris
with the other
in.
contestants.
The show don't make no sense. So just put him in.
Just put him in.
It
Doesn't
doesn't.
make any
It doesn't
sense
even
at
make any sense. It's different universes.
Yeah,
It's different
I don't think they care.
animation.
I don't think they care.
Walsh, I love your passion for this.
Jude needs to get out. Fucking
I-
bring in the whole fucking 16 cast. Do
It
it,
is.
cowards.
It is. It's absolutely wild that they thought that this was a good idea.
Then they lose the whole point because then he's not 16. He's like 6.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
What?
All right, any other noises about Total Drama Rama you want to get out?
I just want to say that it is. I think that they could have stopped after like a few seasons. I think that's a very, very important thing. And I also think if they were going to continue it, why move away from the entire format of the show? Is what I think I'm very confused about the entire thing. Like, there's no competition. It's
Wanna know
just
why?
money.
Teen Titans Go.
Oh.
Teen Titans Go.
Well, I don't know. I don't know
Baby
what
Looney Tunes, Baby Muppets, Baby
that-
Tom and
A pup named
Jerry,
Scooby
a
Doo.
pup named Scooby Doo.
Yes, because we need all we need is baby cartoons. That's all we need.
Baby Flintstones.
That's all we freaking need in this world is just baby versions of the cartoons. Not more of just the normal ass cartoons. We need baby versions constantly. It's great. Honestly, animation's amazing.
Baby Sonic just got revealed.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Wait, what? Are you freaking kidding me?
For movie
Yeah,
Sonic.
let me find a picture.
No,
The kids,
come on.
the kids, they love the babies. Baby Sonic, Baby Yoda. Just make it a fucking baby.
Just make it a baby.
Make it a
There it is, it's Baby
motherfucking
Sonic.
baby.
Like, alright, we're out of original ideas. Let's just subtract 20 years off of these people, and then let's produce the show.
At least Baby Sonic has shoes.
Make it baby. But sir, the Rugrats are already babies. Then make them teenagers. Are you not paying attention?
This has been the Doc of Shame podcast. I'm Matt, here for Chris, Walsh, and Gabe. We will see you all in the next one.
Goodbye.
The Doc of Shame podcast is brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Find us on Twitter at Doc of Shame, and find more of our work at Team Chaos Pods.